Lesson 6.3C, Sales Tax and Tips. So we're going to use the percentages that we've been working with this whole chapter. And we're going to talk about some very common uses of percentages. One being sales tax. Sales tax is a percent of the purchase price and is in an amount paid in addition to the purchase price. So basically there's a price of an item. They have a sales tax. Does anybody know the sales tax rate in Indiana right now? Mason? 7%. So you take 7% of the price and then you add that on. A tip or gratuity is a small amount of money in return for service. So you can tip the waiter or waitress, maybe the pizza delivery man. Okay. So we are going to look at sales tax and tips. I'm going to show you a couple of methods. How many of you remember talking about sales tax before? How many of you remember doing that? Anybody? Never?
No.
You've never talked about sales tax before?
No. Never.
With my parents.
And so let's look at the ways that we can do this. We had just said that sales tax in Indiana is 7%. So they're not going to do 7% every time, even though that's probably what would happen if you did a real problem in Indiana. Let's look at the example 1 from soccer. It says find the total cost of a $17.75 soccer ball if the sales tax is 6%. Notice how it says there's two methods. Usually the first method is the way that you learn how to do it the first time you talk about it. If you've got a 6% tax, you find 6% of the price $17.75. Now, earlier in this chapter, we were finding percent of a number. So percent of a number, what did of mean? Times. So you're going to be doing multiplying. Okay, you're going to be doing lots of multiplying on these problems. 6%, 0.06 times $17.75, they come up with $1.07. Now, notice the little squiggly equal sign. Does anybody know what that means? What's the squiggly equal sign mean?
Equal to?
No.
Don't know.
It means what, Sarah? About equal. So it's approximately, that means that's been rounded to 2.
Walter.
Yes. All right, so the first method, find 6%. We already said the squiggly lines mean about. It means that it really was more decimal places than 2, but when you're talking money and cents, it's only 2 decimal places. Cents are only 2 decimal places. So the sales tax for that soccer ball was $1.07. Now, I want you to be aware of this. Sometimes the question might just say, what is the tax? And if that was the case, you'd say $1.07 and you'd be done. Okay? You got to read what the question is asking you. I don't know what they'll do on the iLearn, but it could be that question. This question is find the total cost. So once you find the $1.07, you take it and you add that on to the price. So $18.82. So you can find 6% of the cost, take that amount of tax, and add it on. That's method 1. Method 2. So method 2 I'm hearing might have been on your IXL. So when you're paying for that soccer ball that's $17.75, you're paying 100% of that soccer ball. Plus, you're paying 6% for the tax. So you're paying 106% of that soccer ball. 106%. Do you understand what that means? 100% of the cost plus 6% more. So you take 1.06 times 1775 and you get the 1882 right off the bat. I think this method is much quicker. This method is much quicker. If you're being asked to find the total cost Finding 106% of the 1775 is going to be a lot quicker than finding 6% and then going back and adding it on. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to recommend the second method for solving. Okay, any questions about the tax? Let's look at a tip. Generally, they recommend giving a 15% tip for a service. So, like if you go get your hair done, I'm going to go get my hair done tonight, and I'm going to give her a 15% tip on top of what I really am. Yes. So it's not just waiters and waitresses and pizza delivery people, but anybody that if you do a service, if they do a service, you can give them a tip. So again, this is just like tax. So if it's 15%, it says what 15% for an $18.50 bill at a restaurant. What will the total bill be with the tip? They're giving you two methods again. They're going through the same steps. The first method, adding the tip to the regular price. So 15% of $18.50. So 0.15 times $18.50. Excuse me, $18.50, $2.78. Why is that an equal sign and not the little squiggly thing, do you suppose, Dylan?
That's the exact.
Yeah, that must have been exactly. It must have exactly came out to $2.78. Okay, $2.78, they added it on, so you would end up paying $21.28. Now, do you think in reality, let's think about reality. You think in reality, if somebody went to the reservation and their bill was $18.50, they would count out $2.78 more on top of their $18.50 bill? Does somebody ever do that? What do they normally do? Just round it off, right? Give you the even amount of dollars or whatever. Yes? Yeah, most people just give some dollars. Yeah, they just kind of round it off. But this is how you would do it if you wanted to be exact. The second method, well, the one I'm going to recommend if you're supposed to find the total cost, 100% of the bill plus 15% tip, you're really going to pay 115%. Just go ahead and add that right off the bat. That's easy. 115%, and then you're only doing 1.15 of the 1850. You get 21.28. You get it right. You get it directly. So that's a lot quicker. Are there any questions? Okay, so we're going to let some of you help me with this. All right, the very first example is a shirt that's $22.95 and it's 6% tax. Dylan, which method are we going to use and what am I going to do?
The method 2, because you're just trying to find out what the total cost is.
Yes, we just want the total cost. So what would the percentage be that I'm going to use?
Say 100 plus 6.
So 100 plus 6 would be what percentage?
106%.
106%. So we want to find 106% of the $22.95. So what's my decimal, Dylan?
1.06.
And what operation am I going to do?
Multiply $22.95.
Okay, so Dylan, I'm going to go ahead on my calculator, 1.06 times $22.95, and it says this. It says 24.327. You tell me what answer you would give on your homework.
24.33.
$24.33. Good job. Olivia, you going to do the second one? Okay, it's a $10.85 book, and there's a 4% tax. So what are we going to do, Olivia? 100 plus 4, so what percent am I going to use? Yes, 104%, you're right. 104%, so 1.04, and we're going to do what with that? 1.04 times 1085. And when I do that on my calculator, 1.04 times 1085, I get 11.284. So Olivia, what would you write for your answer? $11.28. Good job. Okay, one more. One more. Oops, I erased the whole thing there. $11.28. All right, I've got Andrew, $59.99 DVD box set, and it's a 6.5% tax. So what are we going to do with that?
You're going to add 6.5% plus 100%.
6.5 plus 100, so my percentage is going to be
106.5.
106.5%. So Andrew, when I change that to a decimal to multiply, what's it going to be?
106.5.
Nope. It's not going to be 106.5. Be able to multiply, what do we always move with that?
Oh. Round?
So when it was 104%, Olivia said 1.04. What did she do with her decimal? What do we always do with that decimal when it's a percentage?
Round?
Nope. What are we going to do with it? Olivia had 104%, and to be able to multiply, we made it 1.04. Dylan had 106%. So he made it 1.06. So you've got 106.5%. What are we going to make it? What did Dylan and Olivia both do with the decimal in 106% and 104%? We end up multiplying the problem, yes, but you've got to change the percentage to a decimal to be able to use it. All right, 106.5%. Andrew, what decimal is that going to be?
It's going to be 100.
You're going to move the decimal where?
I'm going to move it 2 to the left.
So moving it 2 to the left. There's 1, there's 2. What's that going to be?
1.5. Wait, 1.65.
There's a 0 in there, 1.065. And then you're going to do what? Multiply times. How much did the DVDs cost?
Oh, multiply by $59.99.
$59.99. Okay, now, when I multiply this on my calculator, Andrew, I get 1.065 times $59.99. Okay, now, are you ready for this? It is 63.88935. Tell me what that is in dollars and cents, Andrew.
$63.89.
$63.89. Okay, so don't let that decimal in 6.5% fool you. Once you add it onto your 100 and you get 106.5, you're still moving that decimal 2 places over. Okay, over here on the right, usually we don't do the evens, but just to verify, when it's a 15% tip, you would add that 15% tip to the 100% of the bill, and you're going to have 115%. Okay, you move the decimal over 2 places, 1.15 times 24, and you're going to pay, if you do that, times 24, it says 27.6. How should I answer that in dollars and cents? Eli? $27.60. Okay. All right. Questions about that?